All right. I feel like we got some hot takes this week.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not looking forward to hearing any of them now because of the pre-podcast convo that Jake and I were just having. I'm a little peeved. I'm going to let you kick off the intro, and I'll give you my Rotten Tomatoes crap after.
Okay.
All right? Okay, I'm going to interrupt you right now. Nah, I'm just kidding. Go ahead. Go ahead, buddy.
Well, our movie this week is Suckfest. No. The movie this week is The Nightmare Before Christmas. It's a Tim Burton movie from 93?
Yep, nailed it. 1993.
For the tomato meter, I'm gonna guess like 80 across the board.
Nice guess.
Yeah,
but not nice enough. All right, boom. 91% audience score.
Of course.
Higher or lower on the critics? What do you think?
Lower.
Wrong again. 95%. Boom.
Wow.
Oh, and you're telling me you got some. So I want to hear these hot takes. I think they're hot takes.
Like
I'm gonna label them as a hot take.
So.
And I'll tell you all the reasons why you're wrong.
Okay, yeah, that works.
No, I want to hear it. It's good.
I mean, here I'll start with.
They're probably legit.
I'll start with the good. The good.
Do a little sandwich. Good, bad, good.
Yeah. So,
make me feel better.
Good, bad, bad.
Bad.
So I've seen this movie one other time before. I was very young. The one part that I have been able to remember of it my entire life is the kid pulling the head out of the present and showing his parents and them freaking out.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that from the trailer. I remember that from the time I watched it before, and I remember it from this time now. I know that every theater kid and girl in my high school, if not most of them, loved this movie with a fiery passion, which I think might have turned me off of it for some reason. It was just one of those, like, everybody loves Tim Burton so much. And, like, don't get me wrong, Tim Burton is great. He makes some good things. But there's a part of it that just I don't vibe with all the time. And he gets it's a little too weird for me. I mean, but I don't know. Can't explain it. Anyways.
If you can't explain it, then you're probably wrong.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm just gonna shit all over you on this one. Dude.
So here's what I liked.
Yeah.
I thought the story was going to be that there's this one lonely skeleton that wants Christmas to happen or finds out about Christmas, and then he ends up like stealing Christmas. And I guess that's kind of what happens, but the way they do it I liked, in the fact that like he just tells all the Halloweentown about Christmas and they do Christmas in their own way, which I think is kind of the message of the movie to, no matter how you celebrate Christmas, you're welcome to it. And like, while he's trying to have the joy and everything about it, he's doing it in a darker way, and they can't escape their Halloween-ness of it. And it ends up him having to save Santa and all this stuff. But what I didn't like about it was a lot of the songs. There's the one song when he's in Christmas Town or whatever that I liked. But I felt like a lot of them...
That is my favorite one.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's the one that I've been playing in my head for the last week. But a lot of the songs I just didn't like them. Like, I don't think that they were well written. It felt, for how much effort they had to put into the animation and everything, the story was kind of there, but honestly, the music didn't really get me. I think that's my biggest gripe with it, because there are a lot of songs in it, and like I liked a percentage of the song, and I was like, ooh, if they would have kept doing this, I would have liked it more. But then they didn't. I feel like they held back.
Do you have a specific example on one? I'm just curious. I don't think I'll fight against it, but I want to understand it a little bit more.
Like, there was the gobble, whatever the bag guy is that kidnapped Santa. Yeah, the Boogie
Boogie.
His song. Like, I feel like it was just missing something. Like a little bit darker of an element, or
You're joking. Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It just felt like, well, the story was, okay, here's how I'll put it. The story was well put together. The animation was great. The characters were subtle. Like, I didn't feel too overly, they didn't have any strong personalities or anything.
Like, they had all the classic and then some, like, interesting, kind of unique Halloween type characters, but besides Jack being the main one, there wasn't one that was like, hey, in your face, I'm a werewolf.
Right.
It was
they were
like, hey, I'm this too.
About it. The characters were subtle.
Because it's part of the world.
And
so
while everything felt like it had a clear-cut direction, the music felt like it was all over the place. And that's my take. So lay into me.
Did you have more bad stuff, though?
Not really. I mean, it was relatively short. It's
not always the length that matters, Jake.
I know. Well,
it's the experience.
The depth wasn't that great either. I mean, okay, I did like I did like that they kidnapped the Easter Bunny.
Yeah.
When he sends the 3 guys out and they come back and he like apologizes to him and sends him on his way. I thought that was funny. Like, those moments and stuff I liked. Like, I didn't hate it. The only part I didn't like was the music, except for that one song. And unfortunately, it's kind of a musical. So...
yeah, there is a lot of music in there. Okay, I will grant you, sometimes it feels like, I think it might be over 50%, maybe 50 exactly, actually, is music.
Yeah.
And so maybe you could do without a couple. But because of that, yeah, it does feel more like a musical and like a play to me.
Yeah.
And so I think there's a part of that draws me to it. I wasn't coming into this expecting that you were gonna have such a negative view on it. So otherwise, I might have prepped a little differently. I
should have given you a heads up.
Where do I start with that? So the message of kind of doing Christmas your own way. It's really okay. Jack's the main character. He's the protagonist, right? It's really about. I think it's. At least one thing is about Jack feeling lost and bored by Halloween because he's been doing it for so long, right? Like, you get that part, right? Then he stumbles across Christmas Land, and it's so new, and the one song is kind of the childish wonder, kind of looking at it for the first time,
right?
That, oh, this is great. This seems like something that's gonna really. And then yes, you kind of they do the take it and do it in your own way, and that's okay. But then technically at the end, it's not okay because he messed it up and Santa Claus wants him to stick to his own holidays. But then that's where I'm going to go back to, because it's about Jack. It's him feeling like he's lost his way to then realize he was exactly where he belonged. He just kind of became complacent. And so he's now reinvigorated to do Halloween better next year.
Right.
And hopefully not feel like this again. So, you know what I mean? Like, there's that part of the character.
I can agree with that. That sounds right.
I think it's almost the person who's felt like they've lost their way to then stumble through something and technically mess it up. But then at the end, he's like, the one song when he's been shot down is kind of like him realizing, hey, I did it anyways. I failed, but that's okay. And now I'm going to pick myself up and do better next time.
Right.
But, maybe not steal someone's holiday is kind of, yeah. Does that, so there's something about that I like. See, I'm coming to this where I don't want to assume like you didn't get some of that because you probably noticed that. You might not have cared as much.
Yeah. I was like. I just wasn't as into it as, I probably was when I was younger.
Mm-hmm. But I will say I've probably seen it upwards of 30 times.
Okay.
At least 20 times, So you've only seen it like twice. Yeah.
Here's the thing that I will say.
Mm-hmm.
There are so many like tattoos and Comic-Con and all those things of people that do like Sally and Jack and all of this. And it's like, this is all that world really has. It's just this one movie. So it's pretty fascinating to me that, you know, the fan base is so invigorated and so, you know, enthusiastic about it that, you know, these subtle characters have really taken a life of their own in everybody's imagination. Yeah.
I think it's because it's uniquely kind of its own world and it's a little different. So if for those that maybe feel a little different than the norm, they can be drawn to it or identify with something. So there's something to be said about that. You're right. There's this Jack and Sally thing. You have the line in the one Blink-182 song, whatever. Yeah, some of that stuff was featured in Hot Topic.
Yeah.
You know, I did go to school wearing like Nightmare Before Christmas PJs before. Like,
I bet you did.
Yeah. So yeah. The fan, it's got this cult like following basically.
Yeah.
After it's been out for so long. I will say, so usually when I think of it as a Tim Burton movie or a so-and-so's movie, I think of them as directing it, right? He did not direct this one, but it is his story, right? Okay. So he like wrote it, produced it. I think it was based on, I thought it was based on like a short or something he did before.
I don't know.
When he was, because he was working for, I'm gonna butcher this probably, but I think he was working for Disney before this, did some sort of short. I think that might have been tied to, didn't he do Frankenweenie or something?
He did do
Is that not him?
Frankenweenie.
Yeah, and I feel like that was also like another short. I can't remember exactly. I'm not gonna just look it up right this second, but
yeah, I'm on it.
Then he, after he was, I think, let go from Disney, then he was doing that. I don't know. There's some weird things. I don't know why I bring that up. I just bring that up because it does say Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas, and it still is, but he also didn't direct it. I used to think he also directed it. I feel like that was a common misconception, but maybe that was just me.
So he did end up directing like Corpse Bride.
Yeah.
And Frankenweenie. You know, maybe it was just that director.
Yeah. It was also our first, as far as I know, like his first major thing that has that. Oh no, Beetlejuice was technically, that's right. Oh, and Edward Scissorhands wasn't after this, it was right before. Okay. Never mind. So he already had that like gothic-y, horror-y.
Yeah,
kind
it has his style and influence. And like I liked it in Beetlejuice. I've liked it for other movies.
Yeah.
But
I even liked
this
it
one,
Sweeney
it just
Todd,
didn't.
Figured.
Yeah, with this one, it just didn't click with me. It's just like here's my explanation that I can logically think of, because we're all about logic here.
Yeah.
It came out when I was 4. I was very into the colorful Disney movies, Lion King, Aladdin, Toy Story when that came out. And this one is just kind of dark and weird, and I think it just wasn't one that I was interested in seeing because it was just kind of outside of what I wanted to watch at the time. And then I avoided it long enough that then you get the super fans in high school and middle school, and they kind of turn you off of it because, like, you know how theater bullies are. Oh, you don't like this song? Why don't you just jazz out of here?
Oh, I was friend with the theater people. So.
I was friends with the theater. I was a theater kid, but there
bullies?
were still people that were like, you don't like this? No, I don't.
Yeah. Yeah, there was. Hopefully, it's not just societal pressure that's pushed me into liking this movie. Well, I got bullied in high school or something for not liking it. I don't know. I never experienced that from what I can recall, but I don't have a great memory, to be honest. Anyways, a quick question though, I forget, are you the oldest child? Or
I am the youngest.
You are the youngest. Okay, so am I though. Okay. I was like, I feel like we just went over this in a recent thing. I only mentioned that because my siblings, or at least my oldest sister, definitely I know like this, and she would have been 12, 16. So yeah, like the high school age when it came out. So I feel like that could have had an influence on me more so than anyone else in my friend group or whatever. I would have watched it earlier, even though, I also liked Lion King and other colorful animation stuff. So colors and shinies for children.
Colors and shinies.
Yay.
Like, I mean, I liked the story. I just didn't like the music. I felt like the music, while the music had relevance to the story, I don't think that they blended it that well. Like, you know, I try to think of other musicals, you know, across the universe. I feel like they blend really well, the story and the music. And this one, it just felt like there were two separate worlds. And like, you knew when a song was going to come. I'm trying to figure out more of why I didn't enjoy it as much.
Yeah, I mean, now you're making me think maybe not all the songs are that great. But I'm like, you know, maybe I just held them up to...
Here's what I'm going to do. You keep talking. I'm going to look up lyrics.
Okay. I mean, I know a couple of songs almost like all the way through, I think, so... But some of the others, I guess I don't know.
You want to sing some for us?
No, I don't know. Do we get in sort of like copyright type thing, or...
No, I'm not going to sing anything. I'm just going to...
Well, yeah, if you just read it off. But I'm like, if I have to sing it because of like music, I have to sing it completely off. That's what it is, right? I like that, at least for me, it's become interchangeable, Halloween and Christmas movie. So I just usually watch it around. That's probably why I've seen it so many times. I usually watch it at least twice each year.
Yeah. So
I could have easily watched it 30 times by now. And it is a short movie, like you said. Which, I will say a little bit, it feels kind of rushed at the end because of that. Like, they could have let stuff breathe more and had more in there. But I also kind of understood from the beginning that with the process of creating everything was taking a long time, or would take a long time, that doing more runtime would probably just eat into the budget. I mean, not feed into it. Maybe it's just because it seems so stunning how they did all that stop motion stuff. That critic, because I was a little surprised about the critic score being that high out of 100 reviews.
Right.
95% on there, so it's coming in nice and fresh. I mean, here's the critics' consensus. Let's see. Now, it's always just one line though. Nightmare Before Christmas is a stunningly original and visually delightful work of stop motion animation. And according to Jake, that's all it's got.
It is visually delightful. I was surprised by the story because I really thought it was a different kind of story. And now further talking to you about the kind of the arc that Jack goes through. And
that's just one thing too.
Yeah, I like the story more. I just don't.
Yeah, I do kind of like the. Okay, well then I'll go into a little bit more about.
I found a lyric that I think epitomizes my thoughts.
Okay.
Secure inside their dreamland.
Yeah, that's the what's this song?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. It's
because it's creepy in a way. Doesn't it tie into the type of?
It's adult. Secure inside their dreamland. It just doesn't feel whimsical. It doesn't feel.
Oh, that's what you mean, like the verbiage itself.
Yeah, like everything else about the song feels whimsical, but then secure inside their dreamland. It's like trapped. Safe, comfortable, cozy.
Yeah, not
cozy inside their dreamland,
negative.
Secure in their dreamland. Like it just doesn't.
Oh, you're saying like.
I'm saying it feels too adult.
Cozy.
I feel like secure, cozy, comfortable.
I know that's what I'm trying. That's what I was trying to say. Though, is I feel like maybe some of the verbiage. Now I'd have to go through every single song on the lyrics and think about is this because
everybody we're going long haul on this one
because he's Jack from Halloweentown that like he just has a different vocabulary. That's the way I would think of it, but I'd have to then look at every song to double check it's consistent at least. You know what I mean? And I think based on the style of the songs and most of the lyrics I can think of off the top of my head, it would probably point that way. But man, I'm going to have to spend a couple hours going through all these, I think. We might have to do a follow up on this.
Yeah.
Specific, like a little side.
Because I'm just like the music just didn't do it for me. It felt, it just didn't feel like it matched the mood of the movie.
Yeah, see, I don't know if I would say with the mood, but I will say there's something that could be made that, like, I would agree or concede, at least on the part of the music, could be a contentious point because it's different and there's stuff like you've brought up. So I'll meet you at least like halfway on that.
Okay, I'll take that.
But everything else was great, so shut it.
Okay.
No, that's fine. I don't really, you can.
No, you've said.
It's a 50-50 podcast. It's not the Zach show. Come on.
Music by Danny Elfman, which I don't know that he wrote the lyrics. I'll say that.
Yeah, he did the music, but he also didn't he do?
Yeah, he sang Jack's voice, I think.
Yeah, Jack's. Okay. I don't know, man. I think you're just
fun callback to our Home Alone episode. Kevin's mom is Sally.
Oh yeah, nice.
And
Catherine O'Hara.
A fun call forward to our next movie. William Hickey played the evil scientist. And for you avid listeners out there, if you can guess what our next movie is before we say it later, because of that one hint, then you have my undying loyalty. Unless you're into like weird stuff.
Wait, we're not watching Beetlejuice?
No.
Just kidding. Oh, damn. So the other couple things that like I could speak on is you have the Jack and Sally relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Is like kind of there, but kind of not. It almost feels like they have sort of a history, but not really. It's almost she sees him as someone she admires, but he is kind of like the big kahuna, right?
Right.
So it could be kind of like starstruck, but
and
then
she's like sheltered.
Yeah. Well, okay. So then that's the other thing that I like is with is that mad scientist is it Finkelstein? Is that right? Okay. It's weird, but it kind of makes sense for a mad scientist. You have your creation, which could also be like your child.
Mm-hmm.
And there's part of me that thought it was totally, she felt captive, like he was actually holding her. But I honestly think he's also trying to do the best he can. He's just kind of weird and controlling. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like overbearing dad kind of feeling.
Yeah.
But you also kind of get this almost like she's his ward feeling.
Right.
Which I always felt weird about.
Doesn't she like poison him?
Yeah.
So she's constantly trying to kill him?
She's, yeah. Which is kind of funny in a way, or at least just so she can escape. She just seems like someone who's on the verge of, hey, I'm an adult now, I need to leave. But I don't even know if that's the actual case, because I think he built her kind of like a Frankenstein monster type thing.
A Finkelstein monster.
A Finkelstein's monster, yeah. Which maybe that's why I kind of hesitated, because Finkelstein doesn't sound like that's what they called him in it, but I guess they did. Anyways, so there's something to be said about that, because it's a little bit more nuanced, but you don't get too much of it. Okay, now I'm thinking, like how I said, it would be nice if there was a little bit more. Mm-hmm. A little bit more into that would have been nice to have, and
I agree.
And a little bit more build up between her and Jack. Yeah,
because it felt
Jack's
very
all wrapped up in him.
Mm-hmm. It felt like Sally was the main, like she's crushing on Jack because he's, the Pumpkin King or whatever. Mm-hmm. And it didn't really feel like, there was like one scene where Jack notices her or whatever, but we don't really get any depth as to like what their relationship was before or how that all works.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree with that.
I do like, because of that, all that whole dynamic, and what we saw is it seems like they're together now, but it wasn't like a, hey, we're going to be together forever. It was just kind of a nice, soft ending for them.
Right.
So it wasn't pushed too much. And so I think it fit with how they presented it or whatever. So, yeah, I'm blank. I feel like there's a different word there. I'm terrible with words. I'm sorry. What is English?
Why did you write the Nightmare Before Christmas music?
I don't even know how to respond to that. Oh, man. Yeah. I like Oogie Boogie. He's weird. He's like the big bad guy that you don't see
I like the three
much
little
till
kids.
later. The kids, yeah. Lock,
They're
Shock,
cool.
and Barrel.
Yeah.
Or I think I said that right. I'm going to Google it. Oogie Boogies. Minions. Yeah, Lock, Shock, and Barrel. Oh,
I didn't hate it. I just didn't like the music, and that's just a big part of it.
I mean, it sounds like you hated it.
I kind of hated it.
I don't want
But
to put
not
words in your
like-
mouth. Oh, but you just said it. Go, sorry. Go.
I mean, maybe I'll warm up to it in 29 more viewings. You know, this time around, it could have. So this is something we don't talk about a lot. It's something that a lot of people don't talk about. Really set myself up to just say anything right now.
Yeah, it's anything.
But
Dogs can't look up. Oh, what?
the theater experience and
Yeah.
the watching experience has a lot to do with how you view a movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I watched Anchorman the first time, my headspace wasn't in the right thing. I wasn't paying attention. Like it just wasn't there for me. And that very well could be the case for this one. That, you know, it was late. I was watching it. I wasn't super thrilled to watch it. And that could, you know, be a factor to it. So it may require a reviewing at a different time for me to then, you know, we can always come back and revisit these.
Yeah. The other thing with Jack is, I already kind of mentioned how how he's lost in this whole, like, I gotta do Christmas and I'm gonna do it my way. This is gonna like revitalize me and this is what we're gonna do now. I don't know what his plan was in the future, which is part of his shortcoming, I think, but he has this vision for it, and there's one or two moments in there where all the rest of the town is seeing it one way and he sees it completely different. You know, he's so like into it and he has this vision for how he wants it to be, and it seems like they're not on board for the same reasons, you know.
Yeah.
Which makes sense because they're happy with Halloween as is, but he wasn't satisfied with it anymore. So I don't remember what rationale he used now for convincing them. He's talked about it, and then they latched onto the fact that they could make it creepy.
Yeah.
And he was okay with it along the way, I think, because it was getting him where he wanted to be with it, and it was like their own twist on it. But I think originally he probably would have preferred it to be like straight up like how they did it in Christmas Land,
Yeah,
to be
I
honest.
agree.
But
Yeah, and then
they weren't
things
able to
start
do
getting
that.
twisted with, I don't remember, there was some toy that like whoever was doing it just did something messed up and put it in the box or whatever, and then
I like it because it's different.
Yeah.
That's one simple reason. I like that it's different, and
that's where we differ, because I feel
songs are
that things should
catchy.
conform to my thoughts and my likings.
Yeah.
And I didn't like it.
Well, technically, he falls back in place and kind of knows where he belongs. Which
You're right. I do like it.
it's kind it's kind of touching on that, like, oh, I guess I'll stay in my lane. But it was also kind of, but that is who he is the lead of the Pumpkin King. He isn't Sandy Claus.
Yeah, I like that part too. That
Sandy Claus.
Sandy
He doesn't have
Claus.
claws.
He doesn't have claws. Just the like misinformed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're also kind of dumb because they're ignorant.
Yeah.
They don't know. They don't understand.
Yeah.
Just like Lock, Shock, and Barrel grabbing the Easter Bunny and stuff. Bunny! I'm gonna say that's my favorite line. I used to say that randomly all the time. I'm a simple man with simple needs. So.
I'll reiterate my favorite part is when the kid opens up the present and pulls out the severed head.
Yeah, the little like shrunken head.
Yeah. Just like that animation. It's just
he turns around just like, huh? What did Santa get you?
final thoughts?
Yeah, in this world, it seems like everyone knows that Santa exists too, because they know that there's an imposter going through. and it's
true.
being reported on the radio.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So in this like fantasy make believe, like with the Christmas trees and stuff, there's probably rumor out there that there's trees that lead you to these places. So I wonder if there's any other infiltrators from the real world.
You know, I'm actually kind of surprised that there hasn't been like a sequel or follow-up movies or something, because it is a bigger world. There's like 5 doors there that they could, you know.
I think there was always that thought of it'd be cool to see what Easter would look like for some reason.
Right. Easter, St. Patrick's Day.
But you would have you get like an evil little
leprechaun.
Yeah, leprechaun. I was gonna say elf, but yeah, leprechaun, kind of like in the horror movies. But
Get
he's
Cupid.
fed. Now he's fed up with
Valentine's Day.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe
He
that
has
too.
to
Oh, that's right.
find
That was the
love.
other one, huh?
There's things they go with it.
Yeah.
Let us know, Disney. We're here.
Yeah, I mean, I'll write something up.
You
I can come up with some
find
sort
us
of outline.
at Story Shack Pod on Instagram and Twitter if you want to reach out to us to give us like the ideas.
Yeah, or whatever.
But that's all I got.
The imagery is good too. Oh, I'm not gonna keep going on. I'm just saying, like, most of the stuff's good. So, suck it, Jake.
Okay.
I love you, buddy.
Love you too, pal.
All right. Okay. Thanks for listening, y'all. And we'll. Oh wait, we're not saying next week's episode. You give a hint.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stop.
I'll give a hint. Go ahead and guess, and we will see you next week on The Shack.